My stepbrother Jacques has developed lungs throughout his lymph system.
All right.
And I was wondering if you could help me understand what he's doing and what the family can do to help him.
All right. Now, I cannot necessarily be too specific because we do not right now function that way. However, the idea to begin with, the first step in any case, especially where what you call dis-ease, physiological dis-ease is concerned, is to allow the individual to get in touch with themselves in the following manner. To allow them to ask themselves, what am I learning about myself by having this disease? What is this disease? What is this condition? What is this situation forcing me to face? What issues have come up because of this disease that may not have come up if I didn't have it? Now, this is not to say an individual has to have a disease. No one has to have a disease. However, because your society has taught you many things that allow you to limit yourself in various ways, then many times many of you are not willing or allowing enough or knowledgeable enough to know that you could get the information that the disease is delivering to you in a more beneficial way. So the way to allow the disease to transform into a more positive manifestation, if it is going to, is to begin to understand why it has been created. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to understand what you are learning out of being in the situation. What ideas allow you to integrate within yourself a fuller, expanded awareness of your abilities, of your powers, of your connection to the infinite? Once you understand what information the disease is forcing you to look at, then you can make the decision that you will allow that information to come through you in your life in other ways, other than the idea of the disease, which simply is the idea of forcing you into a corner, to force you to face things that you may not have been aware of within you because you may have placed them in your sub or unconscious strata that an individual in your society has created. So the first step is to remind that individual that it is their creation. Now, this does not mean that they necessarily consciously chose it, but it is their creation based on the ideas, the definitions, the negative ideas that they have been, shall we say, spoon-fed since childhood. And they may not see any other way to get the information that the disease is showing them other than by forcing them to face it through the disease. If they can expand their understanding of what it is that they are learning, they can learn it in another way. That is step one. You follow me so far?
Yes.
The second step that we would suggest is simply that you remind the individual that they are energy. That matter and energy, as even your own scientists know, is the same thing. And that the idea of any manifestation, any physiological crystallization in your physical body is simply the product of the arrangement of energy patterns that are representative of the idea you most strongly hold on to at any given moment. So they can begin in their own imagination to create, in relaxed states, a meditation, a visualization that is coupled with deep and resonant breathing or toning to balance themselves and place themselves in that neutral state of vibrational existence, of neutral pitch, so to speak. In that neutral state, when they find their signature vibration, the vibration that makes them feel, shall we say, most alive, most at home, most comfortable, the one that really strikes a chord within them, when they rest, when they float in that vibration, whether it is mental or physical, doesn't matter, when they float in that meditative state, they are at neutral. When they are at neutral, they can begin to visualize themselves as simply being constructed, physically speaking, of electromagnetic energy, blue-white light. Literally, they are made of blue-white light. See the body in that way. Allow the body to dissolve into energy. And then see the areas of consideration that you call the dis-ease. See how they may appear different than the idea of the blue-white light. They may at first appear to be a very dull gray. But the idea simply is that if you can focus on those ideas and learn the reason you have created them to begin with, then use the knowledge you learn, apply that knowledge onto those areas of disease, and see them transform into the blue, white, bright light, so that the body idea, the energy idea, becomes homogeneous so that no one portion stands out any more than any other portion. This is a very strong electromagnetically aligning idea. And if they are willing to continue to breathe into it and feel that they are breathing that electromagnetic energy in and out, suffusing every cell, every molecule, every atom, they can, with that centered state, completely divest themselves and transform themselves into the idea of a balanced being. And a balanced being cannot, by definition, contain dis-ease. Now that is one suggestion. A lot of this, in fact, all of it, will have to do with whatever the belief systems are that are strongest within your acquaintance. You understand?
Yes.
But get the ball rolling, as you say. Allow the individual to begin to examine, to discuss, to discourse with the self, to know that answers can come from the higher self, to rest and relax in meditative dialogue with the self and listen to the answers he gets. Ask, have him ask, how does it serve me to have this disease? What am I learning by having created it? Then listen to the information. In that meditative state, I guarantee the information will come, and then he can apply it and decide what to do with it. Understand?
Yes, yes.
Has this been of assistance?
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Also, on your behalf, do not see the individual, do not see any individual with a disease as weak. See them as having had the strength to allow such a limiting condition to come into their lives because they know they are strong enough to learn from it. Support them with a vision of the strength it took to create the disease. Do not undermine them by seeing them as weak and incapable of changing it. Do not see them as a victim. Understand?
Yes.
So
yes.
send your love in that way, knowing that they have the ability to do with that disease whatever they want to do. It really is up to them. And also, simply on your own behalf, learn from it what you want to learn. Allow yourself to realize that sometimes certain individuals will take on a disease, sometimes not so much for what they have to learn about it, but from what other people around them can learn, and therefore they are actually performing a service for many of the individuals around them that they love. You understand?
Yes, he certainly facilitated a lot in the family.
All right.
This, yes.
Then allow it to be obvious in terms of what it is doing, in terms of what the individuals who are involved are learning about themselves. Because in any type of relationship, that is the bottom line, as you say. What is it you are learning about yourself by being involved? That's the purpose for that particular situation. Understand?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I ask one quick question?
Very quick.
Very quick.
Time's up. All right. Go ahead.
I was in Sedona over the New Year's
All right.
weekend, and
Did you have a good time?
Oh yes, wonderful time. We had visitors at the house late one night,
All right.
and my sense of them is that they were reticulum. Is that true?
You have an accurate sense, but I will go no farther. Let us say there was reticulum involvement in that area at that time. You were sensing an energy that was not necessarily as, shall we say, close in physical terms as you might have thought it was, but was permeating the entire area. And if you were sensitive to it, you could have felt that they were in fact very close. You understand?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shooting!
Hello, Bashar.
And good day to you.
My name is Lori,
All right.
and I would like you to explain for me and the people here your connection with the dolphins. What exactly is that you do with them if you work with them?
Oh, thank you very much. Now and then we do. The idea is that the dolphins, what you call dolphins and whales, are, from our point of view, first of all, once again, the second, shall we say, alien to us, alien species upon your planet Earth. You have, as a planet, two species that live side by side that are aware, self-aware species. Land human, water cetacean, dolphin and whale. So your world has two civilizations. Our connection to them is simply the recognition, first of all, that their environment has allowed them to be more consciously telepathic than you have allowed yourselves to be in your environment up to this point. Therefore, they have been in communication with what you have called extraterrestrial societies for quite some time, quite a bit longer than your society has been. They are very strongly connected to the star system and the civilizations within that star system of Sirius, because there is a strong affinity between their energy. We are connected peripherally, simply because we also belong to the same triad of consciousness made up of your Earth, our Essassani, and Siskine, which is the name we refer to as the Sirius system. We are part of a triad, and because we are all connected and all involved in that way, in reflecting to each other different aspects of our collective consciousness, the one consciousness that the triad is, then the dolphins are also a part of that. And we work with them to allow them to assist you in dream realities more often than not, to teach you how to let go, to teach you how to love yourselves, to teach you how to play, and to learn that ecstasy is your birthright. This is one of the strongest things we do with the dolphins, is, shall we say, I'll put it in a very colloquial sense, we work up programs with them for them to introduce ideas in your dream state, to aid and guide and lure you into more love and more allowance within yourselves. That is one of the strongest things we do with the dolphin civilization upon your planet, since it is my function to contact different civilizations on different planets anyway. I cannot leave the dolphins out. In a sense, when we are dealing with your planet, we must deal with both of you. But since both of you, your humans, your dolphins, are not yet dealing as equals with each other, then we will use whatever means is at our disposal to allow you to realize that you can join them and join us in ecstasy. Not because it is us, not because you need to, but just because you, in that sense, might prefer. It's not up to us to say, but you might prefer the idea of unlimited ecstasy over the idea of suffering. That is our basic endeavor and our basic involvement with the dolphin civilization upon your planet. You understand?
Yes. The reason I asked, I'm writing a screenplay called Call of the Dolphins.
All right.
And it refers to the connection with extraterrestrials.
Yes.
And a young man who helps, who is an Apunian, manifests as a man. And he helps a young girl learn about the full dimensions of her personality by introducing her to the world of the dolphins.
Oh, all right.
Now, I was wondering later on, if you had the time, if we could speak with Dreamer, the dolphin.
One moment. This will take place for various reasons within what you would call the next 3 weeks of your time, rather than this evening of your time.
Okay, so you're asking that I come back within...
Oh, I am not asking you that. I am simply saying that the idea of what you call the dreamer consciousness will have a particular, shall we say, reason to interact with your society through this particular channel within the next 3 weeks, and at that time, any and all other ideas that you wish to utilize within that conversation can also be shared, along with what Dreamer also has in his mind to share at that time.
Okay, thank you very much.
We thank you. Sharing. Now, one moment. Do understand once again that you have the ability in your own dream reality to carry on those conversations beginning this evening of your time if you wish to. You do not need us, nor the physical channel, to facilitate communication with the idea of Dreamer, especially because, remember that Dreamer is of your civilization, exists upon your planet. Therefore, there are no barriers to the communications that you and Dreamer can have, beginning either in your dreams, or even if you wish to aid and assist the facilitation, to go into your physical ocean and play with whatever Dreamer dolphins come to you in your seas. That will accelerate the atmosphere around you to begin to allow you to understand the communications that you require. You will be given, from the assistance and the guides that you have, whatever information you need. You do not need us, you understand?
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and pleasant dreams. Sharing.
Yeah, hi.
Oh, good day to you.
This is my first time here. I'm here tonight.
All right. Well, this is my first time as well.
Very good.
As every time is.
Right. I don't know if I should call you Mr. or Captain or...
How about friend?
Friend, that's good.
Thank you.
Good. Or ambassador, too.
If you wish, but so are you.
Thank you. I didn't bring my list of questions today, but I did have one question I wanted to ask, but I'd like to give a little scenario on something that happened to me prior first.
All right. Be brief if you can.
I'll make it as fast as I can, yes. That's why my timing is off on comedy. I'm too fast. But last Sunday I went shopping and I bought a number of things at the health food store, and while waiting in line, I saw a package of cookies they had on special sale. I bought that. When I got home, I'm taking things out of my bag, and I happened to pick up the sales slip, and I know I only bought 3 things for over $1, and here was something for $1.39. I couldn't figure out what it was, and I kept looking around, couldn't find it at all, put everything back in the shopping bag, took the thing, went back to the store, talked to the woman. She checked it out, and she says, "Oh, these were for the cookies." I says, "Cookies? That's right, I did buy cookies. Where are they?" She says, "Well, why don't you get yourself another package of cookies?"
Nice.
So I did, put it in the bag, drove all the way home, walked into the kitchen, and what's staring there right in the face is a package of cookies.
Nice.
Now, what happened to them in the meantime, I don't know, but
They were not in your creative reality.
that is true.
Especially because you are still dealing with the polarity side of some of the other issues that have been discussed regarding what belongs to you and what doesn't.
Okay, very good. Now, my integrity was in on cookies, so I went back to the store, and there was a different saleswoman there, and I says, "I got these cookies by accident. Would you take them back?" And she looks at me like I was crazy.
Well, all right.
And she didn't know what to do with them. She called the manager, and she said, "There's a guy out here who's bringing us back a package of cookies." Anyway, to make a long story short, I just said, "Why don't you just put them back in the shelf?" And she says, "Gee, you're an honest guy." But what she didn't know, if they were peanuts, I would have stolen them. Cookies, I didn't care about. Anyway.
All right. We thank you for allowing yourself to reflect to yourself many of the lessons that you say you have desired to learn. And now all you have to do, as you have already begun to understand, is apply those lessons across the board, no matter what the substance, no matter what the situation. In that sense, on that fundamental level, there is no difference between what you call your cookies and your peanuts.
Well, to me there was. But anyway, I want to ask you a question. We have a planet called Pluto, and there's a body of, there's a mass that moves around Pluto now. What I want to know is... Right. Now, is that a moon of Pluto, or is that another planet?
Well, in a sense, the definition of what you call a moon is simply any body that orbits a central body. So in that sense, by that definition, it is in fact a moon. It is rather smaller than the planet you call Pluto. And your society is now just beginning to discover some very interesting things about that binary system. One of the things they have begun to discover is that the very fine atmosphere that exists upon Pluto, not an atmosphere as you understand it that you could breathe in that sense, but the fine atmosphere that exists upon Pluto, they have begun to discover actually envelops Charon. So far out can it go. They will begin to discover also something they have not seen yet, that there is an actual, shall we say, electrical potential between the two, and there is a great deal of electrical arcing that goes on between the body of Pluto and the body of Charon at particular times of alignment within your solar system, particular times of buildup of ionic charge between that binary pair. In a sense, yes, it is a moon because of the strict definition of what a moon is.
Very good. Are there any other moons around Pluto?
There are other debris, but not anything of the magnitude of Charon.
Okay, now in our solar system, other than Earth, is there any other life in the third dimension that we might discover?
There will be discovered in time certain compounds, certain remnants within certain areas of what you call Mars. There will be certain compounds, certain conglomerates of molecules within what you may call a few or several of what you call your gas giant planets, your Jupiter, your Saturn, your Uranus, your Neptune. These will be, in your terminologies, primordial forms of organic life, but will lend you clues to the understanding of what you as a mass consciousness used and utilized to create many of the ideas of life forms upon your Earth. There in time will be seen to be interactions with other ideas, other levels of consciousness, but in your third dimensional state, no. There is inhabitation, to use the term loosely, with every single planet in your system, but not in the third dimension.
Thank you, friend.
We thank you very much, friend, as well. Shooting!
Good evening.
And to you, good day.
My name is Marion.
All right.
And I'm from London, England.
Oh, all right.
Where I think the quality of life is deteriorating.
Oh, all right.
Now,
How so?
Well, I'll just proceed.
Oh, all right.
I find myself increasingly uneasy and uncomfortable at times.
All right.
When I feel overtaken, as it were, by an alien state of mind.
Oh, all right.
And am then appalled at what I see and hear in the world.
Yes. Do you want to do something about it?
Most definitely.
What?
That's a good question.
Oh, thank you very much.
But an enormous question.
Oh, if you say so.
I trust
Yes.
that this state of mind
Yes.
will not lead to dis-ease.
Oh, no, 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 no. Not unless you do not recognize that it can be used in a positive way. If you do not recognize that it can be applied in a positive way, if you become overly concerned about it, you can manifest it in a diseased state, but there is nothing inherent within it that says it must go that way. It all depends how you apply it.
Very good.
Now, how do you want to apply it?
Oh, very positively.
All right. Anything specific?
Oh,
Any particular methodology? Any particular mode of teaching, of sharing, of doing?
Well, I would need time to think about
Oh,
that.
all right, you have all the time in creation. I will simply remind you that when you decide what that modality, what that methodology will be, remember that unconditional love will be the basis. That there is no need in attempting to change, in allowing things on your planet to change in positive ways. There is no need, and in fact it would be quite contrary to your desire, to go about it in an accusatory manner, in an attacking manner, by shaking a finger at someone else and saying, you bad person, you are responsible for this. All right, they may be very strongly connected to the idea of what you call the dire state of circumstances upon your world, but to pile on more accusation only adds to the negativity. The whole idea is to allow them to change, to create a situation and an atmosphere in which it makes it desirous for them to change, by inspiring them to change, by being a living example of what that change will result in as a person, by living in the world you believe you want to live in now, by being a representative, an ambassador from the future Earth you say you want to live in, and treat them in that sense with love, opening up lines of communication, avenues of communication with them in a way that inspires them to want to change their point of view rather than accuses them of what they have done. For blame will only add to the momentum of the negativity that they're already very familiar with in creating.
Thank you very much.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It's your planet, and we thank you for being bold enough to have chosen to want to be of assistance in that way. Trust that whatever your imagination comes up with, in whatever way you wish to apply those ideas, will be, if it is something that really excites you more than any other thing, will be the methodology that will work best for you, because that's what your imagination has been designed to do. Give you the methodology that will work best for whoever it is you have created yourself to be. So flow with integrity with the strongest idea, the strongest method that excites you above and beyond any other method you could conceive of in terms of sharing your point of view for creating a more positive planet.
Thank you very much.
We thank you very much for being a part of the entire transformation.